Good morning, everyone. How y'all doing? G-O-O-D-M-O-R-N-I-N-G. Good morning. Good morning. I gotta do it twice, y'all. I was called out for not repeating my good morning twice. So there you have it. If you are watching and you wanted me to do it twice, I did it twice today. I did not forget. And allow me to apologize in advance for any disrespect that may take place on this video today, because my third graders, who are also my babysitters, decided that they were going to stay with their grandmother today. So I have my 1-year-old and my 3-year-old here during our live session. So hey, we'll see how this goes. All right, but today, during our Monday math lesson, I wanted to talk about the use of a 5 frame and a 10 frame. Because I'm beginning to work with a lot of upper elementary and even middle school students that are still using their fingers to count because their number sense is not as strong as we would like it to be, okay? So when we talk about 5 frames and 10 frames, it really is a good foundation for early counters and early mathematicians to really get this understanding of what numbers look like, how many numbers it takes to form larger numbers, and it really is just a great visual for them to see the amount of objects, and also for them to begin adding up to 5, adding up to 10, and just adding single digit numbers all together, okay? So the first thing I want to talk about is show me. So with the show me activity, you actually will have a 5 frame or a 10 frame depending on their level and how exposed they've been to numbers. So I always say pre-K and beginning of kindergarten, you want to make sure that you are utilizing the 5 frame. A lot of times we say show me 3 fingers or show me 5 fingers, right? Those things are still okay, but now I want you to add another tool on top of that. So when you show me your 3 fingers, right, I also want you to show me 3 on a 5 frame. And that would just look like 1, 2, 3. Okay? So the way we use the frame is that we fill in 1 box per number, right? So I asked to show me 3, so I filled in 3 boxes. And then if I want to say, okay, show me 5, then we would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Now for this lesson and for us working together, I just counted on. I continue counting, but that is a skill that you would want them to practice once they've been working with the 5 frame a little more. Okay? So if they're just now working with it, always have them clear it off when they do a new number. I counted on, of course, because I have experience working with it, but for a kid that's new to using a 5 frame, you want them to clear that 5 frame off before they do another number, okay? Until they're comfortable with it. Now, when we move to the number 7, we cannot use the 5 frame because there are only 5 frames, right? So what we would do then is transfer it to our 10 frame so that they still see that 5 in it, and we just add on, okay? So that will look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You always want to start at the beginning of your frame. And 7. Okay? So this is what 7 looks like in my 10 frame. So for number 0 to 5, use a 5 frame. For 0 to 10, you use a 10 frame. Okay? So this number is just letting you know how many boxes you can fill in to get for your max number. Okay? All right. So now let's look at it if we were adding numbers together. So I'm going to use my green for my first digit and orange for my second digit, because anytime we're adding with a 10 frame, it helps students a lot if they are using different colors. Okay? So 1 plus 2. So remember, green is going to be my first digit. So 1, and I'm actually going to use my 5 frame. 1 plus 2. Okay? So when we are adding and our sum is 5 or less, we can use our 5 frame, okay? If we're adding and our sum is from 0 or is 10 or less, we can use our 10 frame, okay? So as long as your sum is not more than 5, use your 5 frame. And like I was saying earlier, we can do 1 plus 2 and have them use their fingers. That is not a strategy that I'm saying to get rid of. I'm saying add this in addition to that strategy, because we don't want 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders still doing like this when they're adding. We want them to start to conceptualize. We want them to start to actually understand what's happening when they add their numbers instead of always using their fingers, okay? All right, so 1 plus 2 will give me a sum of 1, 2, 3, okay? 4 plus 1. So now let's say I have 4 green, because remember 4 is my first digit. 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 1, okay? And my sum is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I could do 1-to-1 counting, or I know because all of my frame is filled in that it's equal to 5. Okay, so that's the other thing about using a 5 frame. Once they practice it enough, they won't have to count each box. They'll know if all my boxes are filled in, it's equal to 5. Okay, so that's another really good thing about starting them using the 5 frame. All right, so now let's look at 3 plus 4. Okay, move my green. 1, 2, 3 plus 4. I'm gonna go to my orange. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, look at my 10 frame, okay? If I've been practicing this, if I got it right, I don't have to say 1, 2, 3. I don't have to count each box. I can look at the top and say, oh, that looks like a 5 frame. It's all filled in. So this is equal to 5, 6, 7, okay? And that's a lot better than doing this, 3 and 4, and then having to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? I could say 5, 6, 7, okay? And it's not always about the speed, but we want that fluency to be there, okay? And if I'm always counting on my fingers, my fluency is not going to be as efficient as I need it to be, okay? So now let's look. 2 plus 8, okay? So I'm going to do 2 green and 8 orange. Okay, 2 green, 8 orange. Filling in my frame. Remember, I'm using 2 different colors. Okay, so now this is when I get excited. Like I always get excited when the 10 frame is all filled in, especially if they say, oh, Miss Fan, I don't have to count because all my frames are filled in, so that means it's equal to 10. I get so excited when that happens. However, if this is new to them, allow them to count the squares, okay? So 1, 2 plus 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just making sure I have them right. And then I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If this is new to me, okay? If I'm really secure and I'm confident with using the 10 frame, I can just do 5, 10. Okay? There are some students that will do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are different variations of the way that they may count. But as long as they get to 10, then it's right. Okay? Like I always say, there is more than one way. There's only one right answer, but there's more than one way to get to the right answer. And my 1-year-old is trying to climb on his high chair. So yeah, so there is more than one way to get to our answer. Okay, so whether they count each individual square, or whether they do 5, 10, or whether they do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's all okay. But our goal is to get them to look at that frame and automatically know if it's a 5 frame and it's all filled in, it's equal to 5. If it's a 10 frame and it's all filled in, it's equal to 10. That's our goal. Does it have to happen? Does it have to happen right away? No. But that's our goal. That's where we want them to get to. And then when we look at the last one, how many more to 5? Okay? So this is really helpful because they get a lot of questions where they have to answer how many more until you get to your total, right? Sometimes they hear it in a word problem. Sometimes it's just in a sentence. The 5 and the 10 frame helps them to visualize and to see it, okay? So if I have 1 in my 5 frame and the question is asking me how many more until I get to 5, I can look at my 5 frame, right? And say 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 more before I get to 5, okay? If there's a question of, and I have 3, and there's a question of how many more until you get to 5, I can look at that 5 frame and I can see there are 2 boxes that are empty. So there are 2 more until I get to 5, okay? So it's just a way for them to see it without saying, I have 3 and 4 or 5, okay? This is a strategy. My fingers, yes, is a God-given tool that I can use. However, I want to add something on top of that, okay? And it's nap time, so if he goes to sleep now, that's why. All right, so here we go. How many more to 10? Right in the middle of a rice cake. Sleep hitcher, sleep hitcher. All right, how many more to 10? So let's say I have 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many more to 10? I can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4 of my boxes that are empty. So there are 4 more until I get to 10. Okay? Let's just say I have 4. The number 4. How many more until I get to 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? Is a way that I could count that. Or I see that all of these are empty. This is equal to 5, 6. Okay? And then this is the one that gets tricky for them sometimes. When we have 9, there we go. Okay? When we have 9, a lot of times they're wondering, I don't know how many more till 10. But if you can actually put it inside of a frame, they'll see. I only need 1 more to make 10. Okay? So, recap. With the 5 frame and the 10 frame, we can do show me activities where we can still ask, show me on your fingers, but now they can actually show you on a frame. So this would be them showing you 3 on the frame. Okay? This would be them showing 9 on the frame. Okay? We can also use it to add. Remember, if you are using the 10 frame or the 5 frame to add, you want to use 2 different colors. And this can be done, if you draw them, you can have them use a red crayon and a blue crayon. Or if you don't have crayons, you can have them draw, shade some with a pencil. Don't shade the others with a pencil when they're adding, okay? So this can be, you can tweak it to what you have and the materials that you have. And then when we're adding, you want to make sure that it's all in that frame. So if I did 3 plus 1, I would count all of them together. My sum would be 4. And then last, show me how many more, or how many to get to 5, right? So if you give me 3, there are 2 more before I get to 5, okay? If you give me 8, there are 2 more before I make 10, okay? So this can be for showing, this can be for adding, this can be for adding up to, or how many more activities, okay? You can use a 5 frame and a 10 frame for both of those things. All right, so we have 2 more Mondays of our math mornings, and then we will continue to do lessons in other ways, in different ways. So don't fret, but we do have 2 more Mondays of math morning. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for continuing to participate. Thank you for making learning possible for students all across the country as we go through this COVID-19 and schools being closed and all these things together. I really do appreciate your feedback. I appreciate your support. In any way that I can help, please do not hesitate to reach out to me and let me know. And once again, I thank you guys. Continue to have a marvelous, marvelous Monday. And I'll see you guys on Friday for our Fun Friday lesson. Have a good one.